My little brother was constantly coming home from school with new cuts and bruises, but when I asked him about it, he told me he was playing football at school. His school was next to mine, so at lunch, I went over to see what was really going on. He wasn't anywhere near any of the kids playing football, but when I asked a kid where he was, he pointed to a corner. I walked over and saw him sitting, reading a book, and just as I was about to leave, I heard a familiar voice. I turned around and saw my ex-girlfriend and her best friend go up to him. They started making fun of him, throwing things at him, even grabbing his book out of his hands, ripping it in half. Then she even went as far as to kick him a few times. I immediately stormed over and told her to get out of there, but I could tell this wasn't the end. My mom wanted to tell the principal and get her expelled, but I had a better idea. The next day, I took him to the ice cream shop where she worked and told him to go get some. He's deathly allergic to gluten and dairy, so after he asked for it to be specially made, I knew she would try something. I stood in a corner where I could see her making it and managed to get a video on my phone of her mixing in milk and wafers to the bottom. This would have killed him. I showed the manager, and instead of getting expelled, she now has a criminal record. After 8 years on death row, I was ready to die. They said I killed Rebecca. My fingerprints were on the knife. My blood was at the scene. I told them I didn't do it, but nobody believed me. I spent years fighting, filed every appeal, exposed every contradiction in the evidence. None of it mattered. My lawyer stopped returning my calls. My appeals were exhausted. My family stopped visiting 2 years ago. Even my own mother thought I did it. The only person who ever believed me was my grandmother, and she passed away 5 years ago. So when they asked what I wanted for my last meal, I thought of her. Her meatloaf, the one she made me every birthday. I wrote out her recipe from memory, every measurement and technique precise. An hour later, the prison chef showed up at my cell holding my form. What is this? Meatloaf. This is a novel, not a recipe. Ground beef 60%, ground pork 40, breadcrumbs soaked in whole milk for exactly 10 minutes. Yellow onion, not white, sautéed in butter until translucent. Fresh thyme, not dried. Worcestershire, 2 tablespoons, no substitutes. And this glaze with brown sugar and apple cider vinegar, brushed on at 340 degrees, 20 minutes before done. He looked at me through the bars. Why so specific? It's how my grandmother made it. She's gone now. If I'm going to die Friday, I want to taste her cooking one last time. He was quiet for a moment. Some of these ingredients we don't stock. Fresh thyme, whole milk, real butter. I'll have to special order them. I have 48 hours. He sighed. I'll make it exactly how you wrote it. Thursday morning, the ingredients arrived and the chef started cooking. I could smell it from my cell an hour later. Onions sautéing in butter. Grandma's kitchen. Saturday mornings, her humming while she cooked. I sat on my bunk and cried for the first time in 8 years. Thursday afternoon, the chef ran into problems. The oven temperature wouldn't hold steady. He had to recalibrate, start over on the glaze twice. It has to be perfect, he told the warden. It's his last meal. Thursday night, I couldn't sleep. Not from fear, from the smell. The meatloaf baking through the night while I sat alone with memories of the only person who believed I was innocent. Friday, execution day. 10 a.m. and no meal yet. Noon, and the chef said the glaze wasn't right. 2 p.m. a guard brought regular prison lunch because the meatloaf still wasn't ready. 4 p.m. 2 hours left. The smell was overwhelming. Guards kept walking past the kitchen just to breathe it in. 5 p.m. the warden came to my cell. Your meal isn't ready. We're delaying the execution 2 hours. 6 p.m. came and went. The original execution time. I was still alive, waiting for meatloaf. 7:30. The chef finally appeared with a covered plate. He looked exhausted. He uncovered it, and the meatloaf looked exactly like my grandmother's. I ate slowly, savored every bite. Perfect. I finished the last bite at 7:51. 9 minutes left. The guard opened my cell. Time to go, Preston. They walked me down the hallway past other cells. Inmates were silent. They always were during execution walks. We reached the preparation room. The chaplain asked if I wanted to pray. I said no. 7:55. 5 minutes. They started walking me toward the chamber. That's when the warden's phone rang. He answered and his face changed. Stop. Everyone stop moving. What's happening? Rebecca's ex-boyfriend just confessed to her murder. You're innocent. My legs gave out. A guard caught me. The chef appeared in the hallway out of breath. He slid down the wall and sat next to me. If that meatloaf had been ready on time, you'd already be gone. I just sat there, still alive. Because my grandmother's recipe was too complicated to rush. She saved my life. She always did. My brother was promoted to head surgeon at Dad's retirement party. Then a patient's widow stood up. My brother Michael was everything our surgeon father wanted. Harvard medical degree, perfect surgical record, golf club membership. I went to state medical school and worked at a free clinic treating addicts and homeless patients. At Dad's retirement party from chief of surgery, Michael was getting his position while I sat at table 12 with the janitors. Dad stood at the podium praising Michael's flawless career to 200 guests, including the hospital board. Michael represents the best of medicine, he said. While I knew Michael took bribes from pharmaceutical companies and billed insurance for procedures he never performed, Michael took the microphone and made a toast about carrying on the tradition of excellence. talents, not like some doctors who waste their talents in homeless shelters. Looking directly at me while everyone laughed, he walked past my table, stopped, and said loud enough for others to hear, "Maybe when you're done playing Mother Teresa with the junkies, I can find you a position cleaning bedpans." His wife laughed. Their perfect children applauded, and I sat there burning because everyone thought he was perfect when I knew he was a fraud. My own mother said, "At least one of my sons made something of himself," looking directly at me. Michael was getting his third standing ovation when I noticed a woman in black near the back, holding an iPad and staring at Michael with pure hatred. When Michael raised his champagne glass, I saw her mouth the word murderer. Michael was mid-sentence when the woman stood up. "My husband wasn't your first patient to die, was he, doctor?" The room went silent as she walked forward. "3 years ago, you operated on my husband drugged. Alan Martinez, the construction worker with the routine hernia repair who mysteriously died on your table." I felt my stomach drop. I knew Michael was corrupt, but I had no idea he was a killer. Michael's face drained of color. "I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. You need to leave." She held up her iPad. "I have the security footage the hospital thought they deleted." She connected it to the presentation screen. Everyone watched Michael stumble into the OR at 2 in the morning, clearly intoxicated, pushing past a nurse who tried to stop him. "That's my husband on the table," she said as Michael scrubbed in while swaying. "The hospital paid me $2 million to stay quiet, but I kept everything. The toxicology report showing your blood alcohol was 0.18. The emails from hospital lawyers coaching me to lie. The falsified death certificate." Dad stood up, face purple with rage. "Tell me she's lying," you demanded. Michael couldn't look at him. "Dad, I can explain. You killed patients? You operated drunk and I promoted you?" His voice broke. "I defended you to everyone, including your brother. There were 2 other families," the widow announced. "We've been planning this for months." 2 more families walked through the doors, one holding a photo of their dead daughter, another of their father. Catherine Walsh died during routine gallbladder surgery. Robert Franklin died during knee replacement. Both operated on by Dr. Michael while intoxicated. The board president stood. "Dr. Michael, your medical license is suspended immediately pending criminal investigation." Security escorted Michael out. His wife grabbed their children and fled. Dad stood there shaken, looking at me for the first time in years, really looking at me. I backed the wrong son. The CEO approached me. "We need someone with integrity to rebuild trust. Will you accept chief of surgery?" I looked at my father's empty chair, then at the room full of people who just watched the golden child fall, and said yes. We were sitting in class when my teacher yelled, "Did someone eat these?" But we all started laughing. She was holding up the pack of candy on her desk. Mitch laughed. "Yeah, you had a bunch in that pack." And as soon as he said that, our teacher instantly started panicking. "No, no, no. How many? How many of you ate them?" "At least 8 of us ate them." "Well, we just wanted something sweet. I thought you left them out for us, but they didn't actually taste that sweet, which is weird." Our teacher was panting, but sat down to call someone. We heard her whisper, "Oh my God, the kids in my class ate them. What do I do? Oh my God." We were all looking at each other now, starting to get worried. "Hey teacher, what were those candies?" But she didn't respond. She just ran out to grab Ms. Grant from across the hall. But when she took one look at the container on the desk, she literally gasped. "You gave them those!" Now my classmates were starting to get worried. Liza was trying to hold back her tears because she ate the most out of anyone. Our teacher was sobbing now. We were really scared now. Ms. Grant just said, "We need the nurse," but our teacher tried to stop her. "Wait, maybe they didn't eat enough to," but it was too late. Mitch yelled, "What were they? Were they bad?" But the bell rang. The day was over. But when we tried to leave, the nurse blocked us. "None of you are leaving." My classmates were starting to cry now because it must have been poisonous. Ambulances showed up and paramedics came inside and started asking everybody questions. Liza started having a panic attack, hyperventilating, her skin turning gray. The paramedics were rushing to treat her, but someone banged on the door. It was our parents. Liza's dad got there first, and when he saw his daughter, he lost it. "Hey, what the hell did you do to my girl?" But nobody let them inside the room. Our teacher was bawling her eyes out, and they were making so much noise our principal showed up. He pushed his way through shouting, "What did you do? Why are there ambulances here?" She whispered something to him. We couldn't hear what she said, but we saw his face. His eyes went wide. "You brought those to school?" The parents went absolutely ballistic. Liza's dad shoved past everyone and grabbed the principal by the shirt collar. "What did you give my daughter?" Other parents started joining in, screaming, getting in the principal's face. Finally, the principal just snapped. He threw his hands up and screamed, "Relax, okay? Just relax. What was it? Nothing's gonna happen. She just might get pregnant." Liza's dad just stared at him shocked. "Pregnant? Pregnant? What do you mean?" Then, as he was literally about to punch him in the face, but just as he swung, our teacher yelled, "Wait!" She told him to stop and stepped up. "I've been trying for a baby, but it isn't working. These pills are supposed to help me get knocked up. They all ate my fertility pills." Everyone was speechless. Mitch said, "Wait, so our teacher's trying to get freaky